Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. I am TW Dawson here at PunkPanda, and what we like to do is give you our amazing corporate update as we do every single week. Listen, guys, I am so excited about the news. I'm excited about what we're doing. I'm more excited about introducing our first speaker, which is Marcus. Take it away, Marcus.
TW, thanks for an amazing introduction. It feels like just yesterday when we did our last presentation. It's been a wild time. Things are moving fast, and we love everything and everyone that's happening in the community. In fact, I even love people who are complaining. And I say that because when people complain, it means they care. Right now, I don't necessarily enjoy the experience of it, but when someone doesn't care anymore, they disappear, you don't hear from them, and you don't have a chance to fix anything or to help them to understand maybe something they didn't understand before. So, hey, we love and appreciate all of you. And you know what? The ride is only going to get better and more exciting as we go forward. Now, today's update, we're going to touch on the pre-sale, where we're at, talk about the beta version audit and the updates, and then we'll finish out on the roadmap, the next 90 days, where we are, where we're going, and what we should be focused on. So we always talk about trust. We believe it's such an important commodity in today's world, particularly in business. And we believe that trust comes from telling the truth, not from being perfect. And then confidence comes when you do what you say you're going to do. So a week ago, we said we'll give you an update, and bada bing, bada bang, here we are. So what we're going to do is we're going to promise you this. We're going to promise you that we'll always tell you the truth. And if something isn't Panda perfect, then we won't rest until it is. So the token pre-sale, I mean, where that's at right now is quite interesting. We started this token pre-sale October 29 with the token price at 10 cents. 10 million tokens allocated. The price will scale as people are buying these tokens during the pre-sale. So as you can see, it's at around 48 cents right now. But because of the way the metrics are programmed, we've actually sold around 80% of the 10 million tokens that were allocated for the token pre-sale. And so what that means, there's around 2 million, a little over 2 million tokens left. And depending on, we've got a few options floating around for us at this point. It means actually we might close out the pre-sale literally in a few days. If we are going to close it early, we'll let you know so that you can dive in and grab some before the next time you see it. It's at $1. Or it may take might even be 4 or 5 weeks, depending on what we do and how we roll this out. An interesting side note is October 29, when we started our pre-sale at 10 cents, Bitcoin value was at $62,000. And so what that means for people who come in and purchase tokens at 10 cents, the value of those tokens has nearly gone 5 times. So if those people had spent that same money on Bitcoin back then, they wouldn't have had a 5 times increase, because obviously Bitcoin's not at $300,000 right now. But that's also very relevant for the token being at 48 cents, because we know it's going to go to $1 and it will list and begin at $1. So I don't know what's going to happen with Bitcoin over the next coming weeks, but it may not get to double its current price. So it's an exciting offer for people right now. There's 68,000, just closing in on 68,000 registrations on the PunkPanda Farm. So these are people who have set up an account so they can participate in the token pre-sale. And those people will also have an account there for when we turn it into a DeFi farm a bit later. And, you know, we, as mentioned, we'll list on Pancake for $1 as soon as the pre-sale is concluded. Now, we have a massive utility case for our token coming up, which will be ready by Christmas. And that's huge for any token. For any token to have a real revenue stream and a use case, that really provides huge value. And even for speculators in the future, they can see that this token has a real purpose. So we'll talk a bit more about that. And again, this token pre-sale is a once in a Panda lifetime event. Once it's done, it's done. And we were all fortunate to be able to have the option to participate. As far as PunkPanda Farm's concerned, I mean, that was set up initially for people who wanted to participate in the pre-sale. The same as the app, it's invitation only. So if you're looking at this presentation and you've maybe joined the app and you want to purchase some tokens in the pre-sale, the first option would be to go back to the person who's invited you to PunkPanda and ask them if they have a referral link so you can set up a free account on the PunkPanda Farm. Now, if they do not have one, you can maybe work your way back up the line to somebody above them, or you can go into the Telegram group and ask Stephanie, our community admin there, and she'll be able to help get you a link to get yourself started there. People who purchase during the pre-sale, selling rules do apply. So you want to read those. They're in the pre-sale presentation and the document there. And they're also reiterated that in the terms and conditions you need to accept before being able to purchase tokens through the PunkPanda Farm account. Minimum $50 purchase is required. I suggest if you are going in to buy tokens, do $100 or more. Not because I just want you to buy more. It's more the fact that the way we've got the account set up, if you're sending a $50 payment and any fees are removed from your exchange or your wallet, we cannot accept any less than $50. And so it just creates hassles for you, hassles for the program guys in the back end. So to prevent any issues, just push your order, decently over $50 just to account for any fees that get taken out. So I want to hand over to Albert, actually, our CEO, just to talk about, what options we'll also have. So after we finish the pre-sale and once the token is listed on Pancake, what staking offers will be available on PunkPanda Farm after that point?
Yeah, there's actually going to be many different options. There'll be people that will come and they'll actually be able to stake BTC and earn PPM. People will be able to stake PPM and earn BNB. So there's going to be many different options available, and some of it will actually be tied to the PandaPlay. And PandaPlay is actually going to come in big on the pre-sale here. So when I tell everybody about the PandaPlay and what we're going to be doing for Christmas and the launch that we're having on Christmas, I'll go more into actually how that ties into the actual DeFi farm. But there will also be liquidity pools that will be offered there also. So any members that want to participate in the liquidity pools will be able to also. So let me turn it back over to you, and I'll go more in depth when I talk about the PandaPlay and the sports fantasy app.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks, Albert. So some people are asking for the PPM token contract address. We have it, it's live, but we're actually holding that back right now. And we understand why people want it. But the reason we're withholding that is because we've just seen it actually really cause problems for so many other projects where they release their contract address and some knucklehead goes and creates a liquidity pool on Pancake and people get confused. They think it's the company's pool and it creates problems for the members. And so we want to try to protect our members from having that happen. So that contract address, we'll push that out as soon as the token pre-sale is done and we've set up the liquidity pool on Pancake. Now, this is where I think a lot of people's focus is right now as far as the beta version of the app. We know we've got some problems with it. There's been some issues. So the good news is we've actually completed the audit. It took a lot longer than we thought it would. It was actually very complex, complicated, and it's good that it's been done, and it's given us some visibility as to know what we can do now, what we cannot do right now. So as far as the app's concerned, the first improvement, we thought this would have been done by now, but one of the issues was the Panda Pals, all of the actual rewards and the calculations were being duplicated up to 9 times, and it was creating a huge load on the servers. And so they've had to deal with all that first. And it means that the Panda Pals rewards that people are seeing going into the wallet in their Panda app, that will be rectified by Wednesday the 15th, which is just 2 days from now. So we're in Australia time right now. It's the 13th here. So Wednesday the 15th, and it will be correct not only for how it's paying people for the usage time for people who are sharing the app, it will be correct for the usage time for your personal use. And it will also be correct where the minute somebody actually joins the app, they'll be given a very small portion of a token into their staking wallet. And that way their staking wallet will be recognized by the smart contract so that every 30 minutes, it's not only receiving tokens for the Panda Pals, but also their staking. And so those will all be rectified by Wednesday the 15th. On top of that, what you see as far as who you've introduced and who they've introduced, that will be reflecting accurately as well. I know for sure on the Android app particularly, some people are saying, hey, I'm introducing some people and I don't see anybody. And, if they log out and log back in, then it tends to reflect accurately. But we shouldn't have to do that at all. All right. So just bear with us another couple of days and that will be fixed up and all good to go. The next thing we'll be focused on is the one-time PIN, which is causing problems for some people in certain areas more than others, where, somebody tries to sign up to the app, they're waiting for a SMS PIN code and it's not arriving and it's causing issues. So that will be updated and it will be good to go by the 20th. So that one's going to take us longer than we thought, but it will be changed. And so what we'll be changing is, instead of receiving an SMS, you'll receive an email confirmation. And we know for sure that will reduce so many problems for so many people. So that will go from one-time PIN SMS to email. The next thing we'll focus on will be the invite code itself. So at the moment, with the app, you send somebody a 6-digit number, and if you happen to type that in wrong, or the person you send it to types it in wrong, then they get the wrong sponsor. Okay, so we're going to be changing that by Wednesday, the 23rd of December, to be from a code to a link. So you'll be sending people a link for your app. They'll click the link, your code will be embedded in that link, and that way there's no issues or any possible way for human error to mean that people end up with the wrong sponsor for the app. So that's kind of over the next 7 days, looking at the Panda Pals rewards, the one-time PIN, and then the invite code. We'll also be updating the login, where you go to look at your Panda Pals. So if you want to do that online, you go to PunkPanda.com, click on Panda Pals, and at the moment, again, it sends you an SMS code. We'll change that just to a password, and that way you don't have to wait for a code to be sent to your phone. And if you're traveling or whatever reason, you can still just enter your password. Now, the one thing we cannot change, which is a bit frustrating for us, the one thing we can't change right now with our current beta version is the contact sync. At the moment, people can, if they refresh their app, log out, log back in, or they wait 3 or 4 minutes, the contacts will show, and we know that's a bit clunky. That is one thing we can't address right now with the beta version of the app. But when 2.0 comes out, not only will that be a non-issue, you're going to see an absolute Ferrari on steroids. So we're excited about that. From a support ticket standpoint, if you do have any issues for the pre-sale on PunkPanda Farm, there's 2 ways you can go about submitting a support ticket. The first way, which is the fastest way to get a response, is log into the back office of PunkPanda Farm, click on support, you'll submit the support ticket, and the response will also come into your inbox in the back office, okay? So if you've submitted a ticket through the back office, the response will come through the back office to the inbox. That's the fastest way to get a response. The reason it's the fastest is because the techs then have all of your information. They can see your ID number, they can see your email, they can see any deposits you've tried to make, it's all there for them. If you cannot log into your back office, then you could send an email to support@PandaFarm.com, and then your response will come to you via email as well. We're going to make a small change for the Panda app support. We're going to suggest to send an email to support@punkpanda.io. So we'll put that into the Telegram group to make sure everybody's got that. If people do go to punkpanda.com and click on the chat feature, that's still fine. It'll go through to the text. But ideally, for this period of time where we're going through beta, if you've got an issue with the app, send an email to support@punkpanda.io and you'll get a response via email as well. Now, during this beta phase, we understand it's frustrating, and I certainly do not fault anybody if they are coming here purely to use an app for day-to-day purposes and they say, hey, there's some things that are not working properly, this isn't ready, or I'm not wanting to deal with these issues, and they go back to using what they're currently using. I got no problem with that. But some people are focused on the opportunity at hand right now. And I want to just give you a couple of examples. We did an update a week ago. And, one of the guys we profiled is a guy by the name of Patrick, who's out of Nigeria. And at that point, 1 week ago, his rewards for sharing the app was at around 1,400 PPM tokens, which is brilliant because guess what? Imagine what this, when they're worth $1 or $5 or $10 or $100. That's pretty cool, right? Now, in the last week, instead of focusing on what's not working, he's focused on what is working and what can he do. And he's continued to grow his team. And in 1 week, his rewards have gone from 1,400 to over 5,000 PPM tokens. And a friend of mine in Australia whose tokens were at 7,000 in 1 week have now gone to over 12,000. So again, I don't blame anybody if they're frustrated or the app's not ready for what they want. But for people who are focused on the opportunity, now is the time where you can accumulate a lot of rewards. This is like back in the days when you could mine Bitcoin on your laptop computer and you're going, oh, these things, they're only worth a few cents. Well, imagine having them now for having a computer running in the back room back 10, 11 years ago. Now, what are we focused on for the next 90 days? This is kind of where the rubber meets the road. PandaApp 2.0, we made a corporate decision that rather than just try to continue to improve the little glitches that we're having, yes, we'll keep doing that, the things we can, but we're going to release a full-blown, on steroids, Panda 2.0 app by the end of February. So we'll continue improving what we're doing here. But when this comes out, it's going to be Christmas 2.0, guys. I'm so excited about it. And that might seem like a long way away, but I want to ask you a question. And I want you to actually think about this. What were you doing on the 13th of October this year? And how was your life? How did your life look 2 months ago, the 13th of October this year? Has your life radically changed in the last 2 months? Or is it kind of similar or the same? Because I'll ask you that question again 2 months from now, the end of February, when we release PandaApp 2.0. And I can tell you for a fact that not only will this opportunity look totally different, not only will the experience be totally different, but a lot of people's financial situation because of what they've done over the next 2 months will be radically life-changing different. Now, because we're focused on PandaApp 2.0 and we're focused on what Albert's going to talk to you more about, which is the PandaPlay product that we're having coming forward in the next 2 weeks, we've decided to prioritize the timing for Panda Post. So if you looked at our roadmap, we had Panda Post coming out in December. Now, I believe that majority of the community are more interested to have an app that's going great. And I also believe majority of the community are interested to have PandaPlay, which can bring literally 1 million users in the first 100 days who all must buy and use the PPM tokens, and it'll push the token price through the roof over being able to send a secure file. So that's what we decided to do. The PPM listing on target, as we mentioned, to list as per the roadmap by January 2021. It might happen sooner. But what I want to do is hand over to Albert to talk about PandaPlay and really why that's such a big deal for all of us right now.
Yes, it is. It's going to be the most exciting 5 minutes of your life if this is the first time you're hearing about this. Before I go into the PandaPlay, though, it's remarkable to me the attitude of the leaders are out there. You just saw that one person. I think he grew by 12,000 PPM in 1 week because we just did the call 1 week ago. We're going to be doing the corporate updates every single Monday. 12,000 PPM, that's $6,000 US in 1 week for just use it, share it, own it on a simple app. And people that are going through the frustrations, they're setting the expectations correctly. They're telling people we're in a beta version app. The app has got security, all this, but it pays you the PPM every 30 minutes just for introducing it to people. Well, some people are electing to wait until everything's perfect. And we don't condemn you for that. Don't blame you for that at all. But other people are taking the attitude and they're setting up the expectations correctly. And they are saying, listen, everything's not going to function because we're still in a beta version. Everything's not going to function as you want it to. However, there's improvements being made every week, and we can actually see this. By the 25th of this month, 70% of all the issues, if we could just get the contact syncing to work a little bit better, we know that drop calls, video calls, we're going to be able to get that to work by then. And in addition, having all those other things like the email verification, there won't be any more problems with registrations. That takes care of a lot of problems. They're setting the expectations up correctly. And it's amazing to me that we have all these teams out there. There are somewhere between 6 to 8 different teams that are growing by 1,000 people every single day. Minimum, some are growing by 2,000. Got one gentleman on this call right now that he's already went from 0 to 25,000 members in just about a 3-week period. So it's completely up to you. Just let it be known that during this time period, you can grow very rapidly. And then when the 2.0 comes out, oh, amazing. But you know what? On Christmas Day, we have a special treat. We have a tech team, a marketing team, and a development team that built some of the biggest sports fantasy apps in all of India. As a matter of fact, the biggest one has 80 million subscribers. They built that. They're building our app. They're doing our marketing. They've already promised us, and right now we know that it's about 50,000, that by Christmas we'll have 100,000 sports fantasy enthusiastic people onboarded, ready to subscribe, ready to play on Christmas Day based on our web version. Our fantasy sports will have 3 sports. We'll have NBA basketball, cricket, and soccer. This will be the first one where you use crypto to place your wager. So it's not considered a wager. It's not considered betting. It's actually considered, sports fantasy is actually categorized as play to earn. So it's more gaming. Now, if you don't know anything about sports fantasies, just Google it. Look how you take your teams, and it's done during a live match. Well, there's so much profit in this, and I'm going to tell you why we're able to compete and why everybody's getting very, very excited about this, is because we're able to compete over there at a level that other people aren't able to. It's because of the crypto. In India, right now, if you play on the sports fantasy, any of the big ones over there, because whatever's paid into is paid out, but on the way out, there's actually a 20% rake. Our rake is going to be 15%. So our members will save 5%. No big deal. However, in addition to that 20%, depending on what state they're in, they have to pay 33% to 37% taxes to the government because they're fiat based. Based on us being crypto based, they don't have to pay those taxes, which means if I've set up my fantasy team, if the Lakers are playing the Celtics, and I've picked my 8 members, and I'm the winner of that match, and I've just won $1,000. That means if I was in India and I'd played through one of those systems, I would owe 20%, which would be $200, and another 37%, which would be $370. I would only take home $430 out of my winnings. If you're on our sports fantasy, the PunkPanda one, you would take home $850. Now, when we have the 1 million people onboarded by the end of March, do you think they're going to tell other people? Do you think other people are going to start to take notice? We'll easily be able to get this into the several millions. Where do people get the PPM? Well, in the beginning, since we're since we're going to launch on Christmas Day, this is the reason that the farm will sell out no matter what, probably within 2 days after Christmas, if it hasn't already sold out before then, because we already have some people considering going in and just buying the whole lot out before Christmas Day because of what's going to happen next. Every one of those 100,000 people have to buy the PPM somewhere. Guess where they have to buy them from? They have to buy them from you. They're going to have to buy them off Pancake. It's the only available place that they'll be able to get them. We will buy them and hold them in inventory to make it for convenience, but they have to be continuously bought over there. So they're going to be able to take their crypto, convert it to PPM, and they can only place their wager with PPM. It's the only acceptable way that they'll be able to do it. Now, a sports fantasy person, do you think they care what the price of the actual token is? They do not. If they want to place a $100 wager, they don't care if the token's $100. They don't care if it's 75 cents. They just need $100 worth of value to go over there and place their bets. It's so profitable that the largest sports fantasy app in all of India, every single match, and there are going to be 2, 3, or 4, or 5 live matches every single day based on the sports that they cover. Each one of those matches, the owner makes approximately 250,000 to 500,000 USD per match. This sports fantasy app that we're going to be doing will consume more PPM than all the other products put together. and it will be the biggest source of revenue that PunkPanda has. So if you're not excited by that, then there's nothing else that I could possibly say today to possibly get you more excited. And with that, I'm going to hand this back off to Marcus.
Albert, thanks so much. I'm PunkPanda pumped up. So I'm going to hand back to you in a second, Albert, because we kind of got a little extra treat for the community coming, and you might be looking at this and going, what the hell is that? Well, this is an NFT image that sold for $69 million. And we're actually going to have some NFTs coming out shortly as well. And I could be biased, but I think ours look better. Albert, do you want to maybe share with people who may not even be familiar with what the heck are NFTs? What are they used for, and how will they be relevant to our project?
NFTs, as you know, I mean, when I first saw an NFT on TV over here in the Philippines, sometimes I'd see crypto on TV once every couple months, and it was usually because of this or that. And then all of a sudden, I was starting to see crypto on TV every single day over here. And they were talking about pro athletes wanting to be paid in Bitcoin. And a lot of it all started with the NFTs. And then all of a sudden one day, I forget what her name is, Paris Hilton was standing outside, and she goes, I want all my music friends to come to me because you no longer need the studios. You can do your own music NFTs. What NFTs do, they stand for non-fungible tokens. But the main thing that they do is they actually give provenance to the ownership of the artwork, okay? And it allows the artist. So what happens is there's actually a smart contract that's written attached to the actual artwork, okay? And what happens is in the future, let's say that I'm a starving artist and I go out on the street and I sell my painting for $100 because I just need food. I sell it to TW. He feels sorry for me. He likes the painting, takes it home. Well, a couple of years later, he goes and sells it for $10,000. In that smart contract, it says that my family is owed 10% of that commission. Well, then 5 years later, it sells again. It sells for $20,000. Even though I originally sold it for $100, I've written into the smart contract every time upon its sale that I'll receive some sort of commission. And there'll be no more fake art. So there's other things like that come into play. Well, what we're doing is we are developing 2 games. Those games will probably be available maybe January or February, and they're fairly simple games. The first one will actually be in the sports fantasy app, and it's going to be called Pass the Panda. So we're actually developing these NFTs, and the NFTs will also, this package will be loaded with a certain amount of PPM. And if people want to participate in Pass the Panda, you know, maybe we'll charge them like 2 PPMs to play. And what will happen is that I take the panda and I send it to TW Dawson. Well, he has 2 minutes to pass that panda off, or I win. I win that NFT that's there, and I win whatever package of PPM tokens that are inside that package, okay? And so it keeps going, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna have it actually voice activated. And what will happen is it'll show it. If it's passed to you, all of a sudden you'll hear, Panda! Okay, so you'll get this amazing little sound that will go off on the phone. On the sports fantasy app, it'll actually be a light that lights up, and you got the panda. You got 2 minutes to pass it on. So that it's going to start off as a simple game. So we're developing some NFTs for that. The NFTs will have a lot of value because, you know, they'll go series 1 through 10, and then another one series 1 through 10. And the smaller, obviously the first one will be have the most value to it. And the other thing that we're going to be doing is the first set. If you want to bring up our first 2 that we're making in NFTs, we're actually going to be putting these on an auction at a place called Loot Arena. We're going to be doing a collaboration with them. And so this is the artist that has finished the first 2 of 6. You can tell that these are slightly different renditions. And at this place, Loot Arena, it's called Loot NFT, but they have this arena. And what they did is they actually collaborated with an art school that's in India, okay? And this art school, all the artists there have never sold not one single painting ever for more than 400 USD. On average, their artwork has been selling for more than $15,000. Okay, so it's been a wonderful project, and it's to help artists, and it's also to give like startups like us recognition The gentleman that owns it and is the CEO of that company, he has invested into several different crypto projects. He's like an angel investor. And so he's very willing to help us out and put these into the arena. I'll be talking to the curator tonight. So by next Monday, you'll know when the actual first one is placed. It's a play to earn auction. And the reason that people play and they don't care if they actually win the actual artwork or not, there's mining that takes place during this. So these will actually be the first two. It's actually going to be Panda Profit will be the first one that will be auctioned off. And then PandaPlay will be the next one that will be auctioned off. And we'll be auctioning off all 6. The last one that we auction off will actually be the PunkPanda chat app. We're expecting these. And keep in mind, the winner of these will probably spend less than $500 to win them, but we're expecting these to go into $20,000 to $30,000 range. And it'll also give us publication for having the 6 pandas sell what the total sales are on them and stuff. So it's also going to give us a lot of recognition. So it's going to be an easy PR move, a capital raise, and we're hoping that many of our members will go over there and participate in the arena. If you want to actually own the very first PunkPanda NFT that will ever be sold, we'll be giving you all the details of how that's going to take place and everything. And it's going to be a great collaboration project because they're the ones that are going to help us develop the NFTs. They're very big in gaming. They're going to help us develop the NFTs for PandaPlay. And then it gets bigger because eventually we'll start creating these beautiful 3D NFTs that will be designed for a game that will be like battle games and breeding and stuff like that, kind of like the Axis Infinity or Epic Hero. And when we switch over from PandaPlay, from the simple ones that we've made with the packages, well, then there's going to be really, really valuable ones. For example, Epic Hero started with their 3D NFTs, and with their Genesis, they have Genesis and they have Demi. With the Genesis, those started at about $300-400. A lot of the Genesis now, like that are just rare, which means they're about in the middle because there's common and it goes all the way up to mystical. A rare one right now goes for just about 10 BNB. That's way over about $6,000 right there. The mystical ones, they're going for like, I think, what was it? Oh, 99 BNB. That's what they're selling for right now. And all of those started off, just about 8 to 9 weeks ago, simply at, 1 BNB to 2 BNB. So there's a lot of value into actually creating the NFTs, especially when you can create the 3D, and especially when you can have the physical artwork, which that's what this is right here. This physical artwork will be turned into an NFT. So with that, Marcus, I'm going to turn it over to you, and you can go ahead and close this out.
Fantastic, Albert. Thanks very much. I love the look of these initial NFTs here. These pandas look really cool. So I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of the family get created. So with that, I want to wrap it up. TW, I'm not sure if you've got any closing thoughts, but thanks everyone for your time. We'll get this recording out to the community, and TW, I'll hand back to you for any closing thoughts.
Thank you, Marcus. Thank you, Albert. All I can say is goosebumps. I have goosebumps looking at those pandas staring me dead in the eye. The detail of it was kind of mystical just looking at them. Oh man, the opportunity that we have, guys, just don't take it lightly. We have something here that's going to take off. The excitement level is tremendous. The pre-sale, guys, that is the thing that we want to focus on right now. Because what's the point of allowing somebody else to come in and buy what's ours? What's the point of allowing somebody to take advantage of something that was given to us? We have this thing right here. I'm so excited about it, guys. Don't take it lightly. Listen, this company will fail because you fail. It won't fail, but the only thing will fail is you. If you choose not to do what you want, what you're supposed to do, the opportunity is in your hands. We can't fail if you fail. If you don't fail, we can succeed because it's all one community. So we want to do this together, guys. And the opportunity is ours to succeed. So don't take it lightly, guys. Good night, good evening, good morning. Panda out, guys. Enjoy your night.
Good night.
No fancy music, guys? Give everyone a chance to say goodnight.
Night, night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night. Good night. Good night.
Thank you.
Night.
Excited.
All right.
Good night,
Thank you.
everybody. Thank you, everybody.
Welcome.
Good night.
Night. Goodbye.